Thank you, Tia. In the work that we've done regarding social value, and I've been a member of the National Social Value Taskforce for many years, and I also sit on the steering group and have sat alongside Tia on the working group developing the white paper that's now been put forward to provide that guidance to organisations and to the VCSE regarding how to maximise social value delivery and how to work with the VCSE to do that. One of the biggest barriers that I've seen over the years for the VCSE to be successful in their procurements and to sort of identify the social value that they offer is that distinction between social value and social impact and understanding the difference. So Tia's outlined there what we've put in the paper in terms of identifying the different roles that the VCSE can play regarding and what they do regarding working with social value. But quite often, whether or not we're issuing grants and we're asking for social value to be offered, those additional benefits to be offered back to us as part of that grant delivery, or whether or not we're procuring and we're asking for a social value offer back. Very often when we're working with VCSE, we will get to a point where the VCSE is saying to me, how do we define that? We do social value. It's intrinsic to what we do. That is what we do. We deliver social value. And in the main, that's because we use social value. We use and abuse it as a word. We use it very generalistically to cover so much. So Jane was talking now about partnerships. And again, partnership is a very broad term that's used to cover a lot of things. But if we start looking at social value about additionality, this is additionality more than your core purpose as an organisation, more than what you're delivering within that grant or within that contract, then you can start to identify actually what we do, what's that additionality that we deliver. So within this slide here, you can see the social impact from those blue arrows on the right hand side. And in the centre there, you've got effectively your contracts and your grants being delivered by different sized organisations. So each of those yellow boxes represents different size organisations within the VCSE, and we all know how diverse and unique so many of the sector are. But for those that are delivering contracts, for those that are delivering grants, where they're being asked to offer additional value within that delivery, it's quite difficult to define what we do specifically there. And very often when we get bids back from suppliers or from the VCSE suppliers, they will start talking about their overall impact as an organisation and also include in that response what they're doing with money that's being delivered, being given to them in that arrangement. When we're purchasing a contract, we will define in the specification what's to be delivered. We